Hello and welcome to Paris Grace. I hope you're having a wonderful day. This project is about this toiletry bag by Gucci in the Sherry line. As you can see here, that is the blue and red web and blue leather typically. This particular bag is in generally okay cosmetic condition. As you can see, it's mostly intact. Is just extremely dirty. You see some variation of color here, some yellowing. As I move this around, you get to see a little bit more of it. Typically, these bags are meant to be used for toiletries, so they're lined in a kind of a plastic material here as to protect the inside. And typically here it will read made in Italy by Gucci, or it will say Gucci PARFUMS. Which is intended to be used for toiletries. But you can certainly use this as a clutch if you would like. It's nice to have a small bag that you can just grab and go for occasions where you don't need to carry too many things. The lining is actually missing on the sides. And what I would like to do is just completely redo the lining. I would do a fabric lining with a side pocket. Other than that, I probably will keep the Velcro because that is part of the making of this bag. The only one situation here is this side right here. As you can see, the leather has broken up, which is not unusual. In corners, this happens. Now, the leather is not extremely thick, and that's one of the reasons why from pulling and opening constantly, it will eventually tear. But other than that, as you can see here, it's not too bad. And on the other side as well, it's not too bad. So I have located a piece of leather that is not the same shade, obviously, but I'd rather use something close to it. What I want to do, let me see where the end is here. What I want to do is glue the piece on the back side and have the extended piece be able to fold. I will have to remove this part of the old leather that kind of, stayed behind, because that is actually part of the stitching, so it stayed there. So I will have to remove that, glue a piece of fabric on the outside, and recreate the folding piece that will be stitched right here. And in essence, it shouldn't be too noticeable. I'll have to clean this up and maybe come up with a straight line because it's actually kind of frayed, as you can see. There you go. So I will have to do that part. Now, I kind of don't mind at all that part of the lining is missing because, like I said before, I think this bag would be way better if it was modernized. If the inside was more of that of a handbag that can be more functional with a side pocket and just nicer fabric on the inside. Other than that, on the outside, it needs to be cleaned. Hopefully some of that yellowing will come out and the leather treated a little bit more so it's moisturized and a little bit cleaner and smoother. Okay, well, let's get started. So I have removed some stitches here at the top because I think what I would like is for the new piece of leather to go inside this fold to extend to this area and then be folded for the new stitching in this area. So this is the piece that I have created. I skived the edge right in this area. It's been folded and glued. I have kind of scratched the surface here because this will eventually be sort of a patch attached to the side of the toiletry bag. And this area right here is where the stitches will go. So I'm looking at this area of the bag. Now you can see how the patch is going to work. So the piece that extends goes right here, And on the inside of this will be the patch. So I had previously sized it. As you can see, it fits exactly in that little area. So I'm going to clamp it and just let it sit for a bit. This will help it lie flat and just create a better bond. So at this stage here, as you can see now, this has been glued. It looks fairly dry. I will do the stitching first, and then I will finish the patch on the back side. So it sits in this way. In this stage, I have some soapy water and I have a brush. So I'm going to start cleaning the surface. I don't know how much of the old soil and grime will actually come off, but I think, you know, it's in the best interest of this bag to just be cleaned out. So I will pretty much lather the entire thing, and I also have a cloth handy just to remove the soapy water and maybe rub if needed. So let's do it. Sometimes it's a good idea to kind of let the soap just sit in. I'm doing this one side just so maybe we can compare as we go along, just see if there is progress. At a glance, it seems to me that it does look a little bit different than, let's say, this side. It could be my eye that is not, but it does look slightly different. Now it could be different things. It could be smoke, it could be just surface grime, it could be a lot of things, but as long as it's not real stains of anything that you really have to treat in a different way, just some gentle, sometimes I use liquid, like dishwashing liquid. As long as it's clear and pretty mild, it will not damage the surface. So that's usually what I use. So I'll keep working on this. These are the products that I used. This video is not endorsed by Phoebe's products. I use the edge coat to redo the edges of the bag, and then I use the conditioner as a last step on the leather surface. So there you have it. Thank you for joining this edition of Paris Grace. We shall see you next time.